Hi, my name is Shae Ferguson and I am here today to talk to you about the struggling infrastructure in America and what we can do to fix it. In 1933, Franklin Delano Roosevelt proposed a plan to improve America's economy and infrastructure called the New Deal. The plan called for new structures to be built in place of the old ones. The new construction of dams and bridges boosted the struggling economy by providing millions of jobs. Most of the infrastructure in America today was built during the New Deal era and unfortunately no longer meets the criteria to ensure the safety of American citizens. Every 4 years, the American Society of Civil Engineers, or ASCE, grades the country in 15 different areas of infrastructure. These categories include, but are not limited to, aviation, bridges, dams, drinking water, energy, hazardous waste, levees, and roads. The most recent report card, issued in 2009, graded the United States with a D average among all categories. Today I will talk to you about 3 pressing categories of which have received a grade of C or lower. These structures are insufficient and could greatly endanger the lives of the citizens of America. Bridges in America received a C on the report card issued by the ASCE in 2009. According to the U.S. Department of Transportation, there are approximately 600,000 bridges in the United States, and of these 600,000 bridges, 73,000 are categorized as structurally deficient and 90,000 are said to be functionally obsolete. About 27% of bridges in America are dangerous if weight limits are not taken seriously. The ASCE says that the average bridge in America is 42 years old and nearing its expected 50-year duration. There is a major concern about the risk of collapse of these bridges, especially since major bridges have collapsed in the past. One of these bridges was the I-35 bridge in Minneapolis, Minnesota, which failed in 2007. This collapse killed 13, injured 145, and cost the area $278 million for the construction of a new bridge. The cause of collapse was a simple design flaw that went undetected at the time of construction, but because of this flaw, the bridge was unsafe for use. Many other bridges have collapsed, but funding is not being provided to ensure that no more collapse in the near future. Of the $17 billion needed per year to maintain and repair America's bridges, only $10 billion is being spent, and the number of unsafe bridges will keep increasing if the annual projected need is not continually met. Like bridges, dams are amazing structures that are in danger of collapse or breakage. Dams are designed to hold back water in rivers and lakes. The dam is used to slow water flow downstream, to prevent flooding, and to produce hydroelectric power. There are approximately 85,000 dams in the United States. Of these, 4,100 are deficient, and approximately 1,800 are high hazard or a threat to life. The dams in America received a D on the infrastructure report card in 2009. Dams will start to fail if funding is not given toward maintenance, prior research and placement in materials, and better designing. If some of the larger dams in America were to fail, there would be a catastrophe. The state of dams will continue to decline until funding is established. Until then, American citizens are at risk of a dam collapsing and flooding their cities. Fortunately, the last dam to breach and cause death was the Lower Otay Dam in California in 1916. 40 deaths were recorded. Since the number of high-hazard dams is increasing, more breaches may be seen and more deaths could occur. The 5-year required cost for dam reinforcement and repair is about $12 billion, and it is predicted that the United States will fall short of that number by about $7 billion. As one of the 5 categories receiving a D- on the ASCE report card, drinking water is a part of the infrastructure that is very important to the lives of people in America. Drinking water is carried to homes by underground pipes that travel large distances around cities. The drinking water system alone needs a public investment of $11 billion a year to replace facilities as well as to comply with regulations and to meet future drinking water needs. The funding toward the drinking water system in America falls short each year, and the system is suffering because of this massive shortfall. Aging drinking water facilities are a major concern. The United States loses 7 billion gallons per day of drinking water due to leaking pipes. If funding is not provided to the drinking water system, billions of gallons of drinking water will continue to be wasted each day. A major concern in America is the conservation of natural resources, water being one of them. It is important to the environment that we repair these broken and leaking pipes so no more water is wasted. Another concern with the current state of our drinking water is the safety. According to a documentary called The Crumbling of America, in 1993 a parasite called Cryptosporidium got into the water supply in Milwaukee. One of the city's filtration plants was unable to screen it out, and the organism, which lives in the fecal matter of animals, spawned the largest waterborne disease outbreak ever documented in the U.S. 400,000 people, a quarter of the city, became sick, and at least 100 people died. The pipes need to be repaired to ensure that Americans will not get sick from the drinking water provided to their homes. Due to the unsafe conditions that are threatening American citizens, something must be done to fix the crumbling infrastructure of our country. The American Society of Civil Engineers and President Obama have both put forth solutions to the issue. The ASCE has proposed a plan called the Fifth Solution, which states that all levels of government must recommit to improving infrastructure, and sufficient funds must be provided by government and users of infrastructure systems. The ASCE agrees that new systems for financing must be established, and a large federal investment must be made. President Obama has offered many plans to improve infrastructure and recently proposed for the federal government to provide $60 billion for immediate improvement of the current infrastructure system. I think that America's infrastructure is in need of improvement. I have a plan that will improve the infrastructure and help it last longer. First, old structures nearing failure need to be removed and completely replaced. The engineers in our country are capable of producing amazing things, and they should be allowed to do so. I agree that the federal government should provide a large sum of money to fund the project. The money will be a loss at first, but when the project is started, engineers, architects, and construction workers will be provided with millions of jobs, which will help boost the economy. Second, enough funding should be provided that the designers can create structures that will last and be upgradable in the future. The better these structures are built today, the less money will need to be spent in the long run. Third, fees can be charged to any person for use of the new structures. This will help lower the cost and build a sum of money to use for needed maintenance. We can also improve the infrastructure by taking the report card issued by the ASCE seriously. If an area of infrastructure receives a foul grade, we need to be aware that there is a real problem with that specific category. Last but not least, average American voters need to be informed about the state of infrastructure in America. No infrastructure bill will ever be passed if it is not voted for, and voters will not vote yes unless they know fully the issue at hand. We need to do everything we can to update the infrastructure in America before it costs us more money and lives than we can imagine.